Hello, everybody. Uh, happy holiday to you. Happy holiday to you, or for you, the people that celebrate New Year's. Happy New Year's to you too. I want to personally take the time out to thank my subscribers, the ones that I've had, that one that stuck with me throughout the years, for putting up with my content, my long, very long content, and being patient with me. I'm still working on, still working on bettering my content creative style. Probably some people wondering why I haven't always put music in my video, because it's like with YouTube, I know they have their own selection of what is licensed and what is not licensed, and so that's why I was kind of hesitant about gotta find some area where if it's music that it could be it would be to their approval. But thank you for coming to my channel and being a subscriber. I wanted, be thankful this year. Just coming out, another year of being blessed throughout time, and a lot of content creators. This 2025 has been an interesting year for me. I'm gonna try to be less short and long-winded on my videos. That's what I'm working on. So I try not to be so long, because I heard that sometimes people have a certain span of time what you put out, in light of things. But I wanted, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for a thumbs up in the video, and I didn't get a chance. I'm probably have to turn back on my comments pretty soon, and I don't know. I've just been so wrapped up in between. Part of my time is just watching videos and seeing what interesting other comment, and thank you for the people who allow me to use their content, for the ones that did and a few ones that didn't. It's only a slight few, but the ones that did, thank them for the people that put their video up and put my commentary on it, and hope for them a better new year too. And it's been a heck of a year for me, and it's been good. I'm very thankful, health wise. That's the main thing. And like many people, I would have been looking for a part-time job or so, and do something on the side. Ain't been that easy. Like most people out there, it's been a rough year for a little bit of everybody. And so my heart and condolences. It's been kind of rough not being able to spend time with family. Thank God that my family has come down here. A few friends have come down here to see me. I speak to my mom whenever I get a chance to. My sister, she come down here with her husband, and I've got to see her. I'm very thankful. And one of my best friends who come down and check on me, and he's trying to get on me about getting my colonoscopy. So I have to get that done in the upcoming year. That's very important. And I just, by me having my legs swelled up, like the one thing that when I had the legs swelled, my ankles swelled up from the excess of fluid in my ankles. It was from the medication, for one, and two, it's what you eat, and you have to be careful not eating a lot of food that has a lot of salt in it. But it seems like everything in our food has salt, so it's like my doctor had to kind of they gave me the very common DASH diet. You got to eat. They give you a list of how many things that you can eat and what you can't eat, and that's good for healthy reasons, because as you get older, it gets rougher on you. Um, and I want to thank the Most High for healing me. Like when my legs were swelled up, I had a sore that it opened up, and I went to the wound doctor, and the wound healed up just like that. I went 1-2 visit. He took a biopsy where it was open at. He just rubbed some tissue on it, put it in a thing, and it came back. It was a little bit of MRSA and a little bit an infection, and it was gone just like that. And I thank God. So I've been using this thing to keep the swelling down whenever it swells up, and try to get more exercise. Exercise is a very big thing out there. No matter if I talk to my primary doctor, talk to a urologist, talk to a therapist, and they, between diet and exercise, how very important that plays in keeping your health up. So that's the major thing I'm going into the new year, being blessed. Just be in your 50s and still, that's a blessing in itself, because some people these days, they're not even seeing their 40s, and some people not even seeing their 30s, and you're like, wow. And then some people are not even in their 50s, they ain't making it even in their 50s. So I'm very, very blessed, and I got a chance to see. I'm thankful for the few people around me, and some people I had to I'm trying to kind of sway away from my life. People, when you're going through something, you want people that's grounded around you. People that understand the way of life, what you go through. It's not always negative, but it's always, because it's some positive and some fun. But at the same time, I've learned so much in this year, spiritually, myself, and growing as a person. Thanks to some of the things since the time I've been, I've been at church, and I went so far. But do you know different people's ministries? And I would recommend it, but it's like some people, information I need to grow spiritually, I have learned online. And particularly there's some people who on YouTube that help me to grow, to see a different light and different perspective, because I'm always given a well-rounded perspective on topics and things. And when you come to my channel, it's a well-rounded. It's not 1, 2, 3. If it's something social issues like race, politics, or if it's something spiritual about something dealing with religion and church and different religions, or going to a different city and going to a different town and seeing the area, and give my audience a little bit of taste, a little bit of anything, or just simply going to a site, going to a museum, or going to some park, just to kind of balance it out. I guess that's what my channel was basically about. It's not like one thing and one thing only. It's kind of just try to keep something interesting. If someone come across my channel, they might not like this part, but they might turn around and like something else. So I try to be different scenario, and I did it. Some people do 1 or 2 channels. I do like sports. Maybe I might do like one with sports on. I'm seeing if I did start up a second channel, but so far it took. I'm up to 700 in subscribers. So thank you to 701 subscribers that have that hung in with me, and I try to be balanced and not to try to be bored. Not try to, just have a balance with my material, and I just gotta learn to not be long-winded. I have one of the people that was in my video saying, he said, you got some good things, man, but you got to cut it down, Brother Jay. You, he said, you got good material, but when it comes to people, you got to, because it takes us so much amount of time as far as getting their attention, you got to get off and try to limit it down to like from 50 minutes to 30 minutes, because some people probably don't want to watch a whole 50-minute video, until you get to that point. So, but the ones that do, thank you for watching as long as you can. I try to piece the whole narrative and the whole story from different, and put a cadre of people's videos together to give you an idea. So it's just not just one-sided, but give you a multiple views. Maybe some channels you never even heard of and never bother even watching. So at the same time, they get a chance to see what that person who I'm sharing their content with, even though they got a much better channel than I do, but to get their perspective on that. So I'm in this year, as far as I thank God for the few selected people that's my friend that I'm going into this year. I'm trying to, in areas of my life, grow as far as who I associate with and who I hang around with, who I can sometimes talk about the things of life and be real with, and keep it balanced. And some people, I don't even be around who I'm related to. I don't hardly be around them like that. I've learned over time, just be myself. But I try to be friendly and try. You seem like you want to establish relationships with people, even when I was whatever arena, whether it was at work or whether at church. But it seemed like when it comes to church, it just seemed like people got just like similar to work. Everybody have their own niche and they have their own clique. So most time, I'm a kind of person I just learned to keep to myself. And I'm nice, but as I get older, learn from lessons past is that you can't allow everybody into your life. And that's the good thing. And sometimes you have to be wise and have God show you that some people, if they come to be genuine out of their heart, or they come there they can bag that smile up in your face, really ain't for you. This is what I've learned along the way in life. And sometimes we tend to get, most people, when you have a good heart person, you try to give people a chance, but it's just some people, they take advantage of it. And I learned over time to guard my space and guard my heart and definitely value my peace. And that's very important. And I'm at a point in time in my life, I don't deal with drama. I don't deal with chaos. I don't deal with toxicity. It's with some people who are like that, I get them out my life. And that's a good thing, because you don't need no added stress. And then when you around people like that, it's like they're draining you mentally. And sometimes my problem was I would hold back instead of just letting someone directly know, hey, this is not going to happen like the way you think this is. And so, so right now, just kind of, you just want these individuals that stay reserved. Like there's a person that he been like a good friend, and you probably seen in my video once in a while when I would go on these trips and go out of town trips. But and this guy named Bob, he's a good-hearted guy, he's a good-hearted person in his own way. I think if he thanked me up as a friend, but here's a person that Um, he's about my age, but he haven't mentally grown. And what I mean by he haven't not mentally trying to grow, I understand we all have a childlike to us, because sometimes it's good to be have a little relief, but sometimes you have to be balanced. At times, it is a good time, but it's a time to be um, practical, be somewhat very in tune. And I don't. He's the kind of person I'm not really in tune with right now. And as we kind of growing apart, and I'm kind of getting, because the only thing that really irks me is that somebody who's practically in the early 50s, and they still talk about amusement parks and roller coasters. I mean, if that's your thing, but man, I'm not into something like that. Like, it was cool, like when we were hanging out and we go to museums and hanging out and like go see airplanes. We go to air shows, and that's kind of somewhat mature. Or go see what a lake look like. Go see some kind of, that's different. But to hear constantly about, hey, look what I'm going to Kings Island for the 15th time and talk about a ride, or go to here in Ohio to Cedar Point to Kings Island. It's like, man, I don't even hear children that's in their 20, like teens and 20 talk about. They might go talk about Cedar Point one time, but they get excited and that's it. But they not, I don't hear too many people in their 20s and their 30s getting so excited about, going, and it's to the point that I don't know, some people ever met somebody, they whatever they enjoy, they obsess, they turn into an idol. And sometimes, and I have to admit, I'm not perfect in myself, because sometimes I get on social media, I get on my computer, but sometimes there's a part of me that have to break away from and go to a park, go walk around the park, go do something else. Don't, spend time talking with a few family members, a few close people on the phone. Have some interaction with don't be stuck on one thing. Give you some time to prayer. Give you some time to worship. If right now, or trying to construct something, not just to be in one thing. And that's what it was with him. It's just that, like, for example, I feel bad that, his dad was a really cool person, right? And he really was. And he, sometimes I meet him over and I would talk to him and his dad, and he wants to go over there and talk with his dad, and sometimes he tell me on the phone he goes over there and spend time and build model planes with his dad, which that's his thing. But he still talk about that when he out doing that. And the only thing somewhat, and I understand, so you got some grown people that do stuff like that, have, build model planes. That's cool. Riding your bike, that's cool. At least that's, but talk about going to certain things like Cedar Point to amusement park, and then, or going to a park, and then like if you go, and I was going to a fair with him, go to the fair in some of my videos, and I'm not much of a rider, and he would bring his sister who has, she had a mental disability, and she kind of very, but it seemed like he allowed, when he brings her, he was allowed her to dictate whatever he do. I mean, one time we ride down the road, and then she said, "Bobby, I gotta stop right here." And I mean, he literally had to slam on his car and almost got sideswiped. And I'm like, whoa. And so I said, I can't. I said, no, I can't do this no more. And it's just that And then when I'm going to a park, basically, in the park we go to is similar like if you would take your girlfriend and your children. I mean, or you take some mentally challenged adults too. You know, it's something like that. I totally get it. You know, people, but it's like, man, we grown, man. And it's like I just want to. Well, we just can't hang out and do what we do. But I don't know. He gets that, you know, got to be under his family all the time and stuff like that. And it's like it's not wrong hanging out with your family once in a while, but damn, you know. And the guy, I don't think he had really ever had a girlfriend, you know, because one time he met a lady friend up there, and I was like, oh, you met a lady friend? I was like, oh, that's cool, man. You know, you about to have a girlfriend, something like that, man. And so the next time I said, well, how think you and with the girl? I don't know what happened. She just went her own way, and I wonder, I wonder what happened. And then later on, I figured out what happened was he's the type of guy that he probably wore out with talking about the amusement park all the time. And she has a, you know, when a woman meet a man, especially a man with a woman with a child, she probably expecting a man to, even to be a friend, is to have some type of decor, some maturity. And I think that's probably what it was. She probably cut it loose. But it's such scenarios like that I say, yeah, I can see how that can happen. You know, because I've been on dates in the past, and I ain't never had to talk about telling a girl I dated or a woman I dated that, oh, I like to go to the amusement park and just for the 15th time and ride a Gemini. And I mean, it's like, no, you know, it's like that's something I wouldn't do, because I'm a kind of person. I've been on the Allegheny River, on the ferry boats. I've driven a car up on if you come to Ohio, up to Put in Bay, and you can see a sight. One girl I was dating, we would go up to Put in Bay. That was it's a nice area for vacation. If you're ever in Ohio, go up to Put in Bay, and it's really nice up there. And I've been on down to Pittsburgh. There's a ferry boat in Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. So I'm a kind of person, I'm real rounded. And even with my friends, when we were younger, we would go like putting and golf cart and bowling and some activity, man. You know, it's just like some technically not only family, but a somewhat grown up activity. You know? So like, you know, a grown activity, you know, the beach is fine, and sometimes I go fishing or something like that. But it's like, man, I just can't. Some people, you just mentally they can't get with that, man. It's like you be kind and nice to them, but it's like now I'm losing patience, because it's like I put up with it for so long, and it's like when you talk about the same scenario thing, it gets kind of boring. And even at one time, you know, and I said, I know this guy to kind of wear somebody out to talk about the same thing all the time. It's like it's more to life. It's like to be bored to talk about the same thing. So, and I've never been the kind of person, I don't like doing the same thing one time. I can't, whatever it is, I've always been that type of person. No matter if it go to a play, to go to a movie, to go to, if it means flying drones, doing something different, you know? Who wants to do the same thing all the time? I mean, that's just life. It's not much fun if you do the same thing. I mean, it gets life get boring. Like, have some kind of spontaneity, some kind of adventure. I mean, that's one thing. Believe it or not, shy, and if you would see me, and I would have that much. I'd be more kind of introvert. But believe it or not, I'm been a very person that just done things not too crazy off the. Like, you know, I don't go into the clubs and bars no more. That's the only thing I don't do, and mess around with a bunch of different women, not like that. I haven't been on a date in think 10, 15 years. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, it's just happened because like you want to meet somebody nice, but it's too many people out there. It's rough out there. So it's just like so. Most of the time, I just stay to myself, and so or hang out, talk to some people over the phone and tell. But if I meet my significant other, hey, that would be a blessing, because I feel like I'm in an area of understanding. Maybe there was a point in my life I wasn't at a mature in my area of my life of having a relationship. Now it's like after you've been alone for so long and recognize the wrongs of your ways, and you kind of want to have a sort of opposite sex to be around, not be around some of the same sex all the time. I mean, unless you're a person that like that way, nothing wrong if you are, but it's not. I mean, it's cool like friends, but I don't want to be hanging around with guys. That's been a good portion of my life all the time. I mean, I had girlfriends. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like, I guess it's normal to be a opposite, to see if you can connect with someone who have some kind of connection with you on the opposite side. But that's something that maybe sometime in the new year I may just meet a friend and maybe just hang out and see where it go from here. But it's been tough, and someone of the opposite sex, not the same sex, opposite sex, someone opposite of me, Anyway, it's been a good year. Keep in contact with my mom. I'm my mom's only child, and I love my mother. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes she when you are only child of somebody, my mom seems like, I don't know, she's one of these people that don't want me to grow up. I'm like and good thing I live far away, so I talk to her and I go see her when I do, but I'm not. I mean, before the guy that she married, that was my stepdad, died. I mean, she was all up under him, everything, trying to put like we just this happy family, but it's like, you got your husband. It's like, I'm your son. I don't mind being but I'm not the kind of son that want to be up under you all the time. No, I mean, I'm too. I'm a little bit grown. It's time to have my own space. And I don't know. Some parents are like that. And she's one of the parents. But I love my mother. But it's just that sometimes they could. In her case, I still talk to her. I look out for her things. Right now she's doing it. I'm glad she's focusing on senior citizen stuff. My sister, she do good. She check on me. She's married. And, she got children, grandchildren, and she lets me know about my relatives in Cleveland and what's going on. She's the only few people that connect with me and stay close to me. I don't have that many people. But it seems like when you move away to a city, it's like you have very few people that really connect and care with you. But if I was back living in the same town or city, we probably wouldn't be that close anyway. So it's like, what difference does it make? So, but it's good to know that as I get older, I'm gonna try to visit the older people because we all don't have much time on this earth to be. And so that's what I'm gonna do in the new year. Spend time with with the elders. Just check in on them because with health problems and things, and it's just good because when you spend much time on earth and people don't take that valued time no more. What I notice as you get older, that people seem so self-centered, and I'm learning I don't try to give people who have a self-centered spirit. I don't want to be around self-centered people that have a self-centered spirit. That's selfishness. They don't, they act like they care, or they put, and I'm just don't want to be around people that's phony like that. You know, I don't care if you're a fro or family, extended family or what. You know, it's too bad. There was time it used to be, we all used to be kind of sort of together, but as you get older, you see people, they go their separate ways, and just like friends, they go their separate ways, they get older, and time drifts on. But the main thing is that having a close relationship with the Most High. And I would encourage anybody into New Year, if you haven't, get close to Him, because in these last days, people are going to show you who they really are. And if you're lucky to have one friend, two friends, or 2-3 people, you're blessed. If you can count the 5 people that call and check on and see you if you're all right, or you're blessed. Because many people don't have that, and so that's a blessing. That's why I'm blessed in that area. It's not always money and wealth and things, but it's just the simple things in life. And that's how I've always had. Material things have never, ever really flattered me. It really had, because I never really have it, but if I had it, it's just that I'm gaining enough wisdom to understand, because I've seen people that got materialistic things. I've seen people have blessings and how they turn all of a sudden. It changes them. Not for the better, but for the worse. So anything that the Most High blessed me with, I've always be grateful and be humble, and just, in some cases, just give Him the glory, because I see what's like, you know, and if, you know, like many people that live on this earth, you're only gonna have a handful of people if you were supposed to lead this earth today. I'd probably be the one that only a few would ever really know, and a few would ever really care, to really love me, and not them the ones that connect with me. Other people that I know, they don't care. They're to themselves. And it's one thing I learned, that you can be related by the blood, but you're not related by the heart. And so I learned over time not to put my focus on thinking and wondering why, asking why it's like that. If you got the Most High in your corner, take that into the new year. It's gonna get tougher, and then He's gonna show you who they are really by their actions, not just their words. I learned to see people, no matter if they can know the Bible up inside down, inside out, try to say that they're a Christian. Let their fruit work. Let their actions work, and it show you who they really are. So that's my advice taken to the year. You know, mine is to increase my discernment, because that's what we need in these last days: wisdom, discernment, spiritual things, and guidance, and growth in areas that, and that's still growing, and still be open to learn. Don't ever think to the point that you know everything, because you get to a certain age, a certain point in life, because there's so many things. And that's what I've learned over time. I learned to say no, walk away, and keep my peace. For the first time, I feel good in my life. So that'll be my advice for the year, to give to anybody who chooses to listen to this video. Learn to keep your peace. And the heck would anybody think? If they ain't paying your bills, they ain't trying to help you out, and if they ain't there to bring a solution, if they ain't there to bring the help, you don't need them. And if they don't seem like they somewhat care about how you feel, you don't need them. If they can't be a human being, everything gotta be self-centered because they have this braggadocious personality but everybody entertain, you don't need them. I don't. All I need is Jesus and the people He brings into my life. That's it. Because when he brings people, they're coming for a purpose, and I treasure whoever they come in my life from Him. Everybody else, the world, let the devil have them. All right then, guys. Take care. Be blessed. And Happy New Year. And hope you see you in the new year. See you on my next video. Take care.